Hello, my friend. It is Heather Dunlop with Thriving Woman. Thank you for joining me again. So, today is day 5 of assertiveness. And what we're going to talk about today is communication. No more wimpy words, not unless you're using them strategically. And I just want to do a quick review of what we've talked about so far. So, day 1, we talked about aggressive versus being assertive. Remember, we want to be assertive, stand up for ourselves. Day 2, we talked about standing in your power. And you want to make sure that you do that because when you stand in your power, you don't get taken over by other people. You don't get rolled over, right? Yesterday, we talked about owning your voice. It's very important that you own your voice and you make sure that you're heard because if you're not being heard, you're not being assertive. Sorry, I'm just bringing up a couple of little things here to remind me of some other things I want to talk about today, right? And the other thing that we talked about on day 2 was you want to make sure that you value yourself and you set your boundaries. And you don't just set your boundaries for yourself, it's extremely important that you know where your boundaries are, what you're going to allow, and what you absolutely will not allow, what you stand for, what you stand against. There's some space in between. There's things that you might not care as much about. When the things come up that you care about, stand for them or stand against them. The rest of it doesn't matter as much to you. So that's okay, right? So be assertive, value yourself, and set your boundaries. Let others know where those boundaries are as well when they're pushing up against them. Stand in your power, own yourself, feel that physical power in your body, not tension, just this powerful energy that lifts you up and lights you up. And own your voice. Don't get spoken over. Don't get pushed around. Don't get coerced into doing things you don't want to do and knowing that they're coercing you. Say no. It doesn't work for me. All right. So today we're going to talk about communication because communication is extremely powerful. And what you want to do is you want to be intentional with your communication. So one of the things to talk about with that is no more wimpy words. There are some words that create doubt, and there's words that create certainty. And it's extremely important that you use these words, especially with yourself, right? When you have all that self talk, I mean, we've all got it. Let's face it, we all talk to ourselves. Thoughts come up that we hear it in our head first before we speak it. When that thought comes up and it's using one of these wimpy words, just kind of recognize it and say, hey, is that the intent that I want behind that? Or do I need to just adjust it just a little bit? Sometimes with just one word, it changes the whole meaning. All right. So let's talk about these wimpy words. We've all heard it. I'll try. Yeah, I'll try to make it. Well, I tried. I'm sorry. I couldn't get there. I'm sorry I missed out, but I tried. I tried really hard. No, doesn't work. Try is one of the most known wimpy words out there, right? We've all heard Yoda in Star Wars. Do or do not. There is no try. Because there is no state of try. How do you prove you tried? You could just say I tried, and there's no way to prove that you did or you didn't. Because you do or you do not. When you're in a communication with someone and they say, oh, I'll try to make it. Say, okay, I understand it might be a little bit tough for you. Are you going to be there or not? Because if you're not, that's okay. I'll make other plans. But if you are, then I'll make sure I'm there. Right? Because otherwise, if you accept them saying, okay, I'll try to make lunch, and you're like, okay, I'll see you at 2:00 at the restaurant. And you go to the restaurant and you're sitting there and 2:00 comes around and haven't shown up yet. It's 2:10. They're still not here. 2:15. Like, I haven't even heard from them. What's going on? And you reach out and you say, hey, I'm here at the restaurant. It's 2:15. We said 2:00. Are you going to make it? And they reply, oh, I can't make it. I tried, but, I can't make it. Well, because you didn't nail them down and say, will you be there or won't you? So you can't prove that they didn't try to make it. So instead, if they say, oh, you're like, hey, let's go to lunch. Let's go to the restaurant. I'll see you there at 2:00. And they're like, oh, I'll try to make it. I don't know. I got a lot going on that day. I'll see if I can make it. I'll try. And you say, okay, if your schedule's too busy, no worries. We can do it another day. And they're like, well, I'll try. I'll see if I can fit it in. Well, I don't want to be left there sitting alone by myself because that's not fun. So, are you going to make it or not? Yes or no? Please let me know because I'll make other plans if you're not available. And they're like, you know what? My schedule's really too busy. I'm not going to make it. Let's do it another day. Perfect. Everybody's happy. You're not left sitting there at the table by yourself wondering where are they and trying to chase them down and getting pissed off because they didn't show up because they said they'd try. Nope. You nailed it down. Are you going to or are you not going to? Will you or won't you? Do you or don't you? Right? It works so much better that way. And think about this when you're talking to yourself, when these thoughts come up. We talk about having your desired life, living your desired life, living a life by design. And that thought comes up and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to try to do this. You're leaving certainty in your mind. You're telling your mind, this isn't important to me because I'm not going to nail it down. I'm not going to commit. Try lacks commitment. Try lacks certainty. So when you're having that thought in your head and you're like, you know what, I'm going to try. I'm really going to try my best. There's no state of try. So ask yourself, is this something that I really am going to commit to and I'm going to do? Or do I not want this? Right? Do I want to do this or do I not want this? Because there is no state of try. So don't leave try in the uncertain mind. It's never, ever going to happen that way. Because then you go down the road and you're down the road, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. And you're like, gosh, how come I just can't make this happen? I keep trying and it's not working because you've been trying in the past. And what worked in the past isn't working, obviously. So what you need to do is change your thoughts and put a better belief in your mind. I believe I can do this and I am going to do this. I am committing. I'm committed 100% to making this happen. This time is unlike any other time because this time I will do it and I'm fully committed. There's no try. So if you want your desired life, right? You want to live free from shame. Don't try to live without shame. Don't try to be assertive. Be assertive. Live free from shame because you can, right? So remove the word try unless you're intentionally trying to put doubt in somebody else's mind. That's a whole different conversation. So no more state of try. First of all, pay attention to what you tell yourself. Recognize when you say, I'm going to try to do it and say, oh, wait, hold on. Let me think about that. Do I want to or do I not want to? And then make a decision. That's okay. Either way is better than living in a state of try, because try doesn't exist. Second word we want to talk about, if. If. Stop ifing yourself. Stop ifing everybody else. Okay, if all of this works out, then it'll be great. If I sign up for coaching, then I might get this. I might get my desired life. If I meet you at the restaurant, we could have a good time. If is another word that creates doubt. It's if. You're not committing either. When you replace if with the word when, then you're creating certainty. You're setting something definitive. You're telling your mind when this happens. So your mind says, okay, we're going for this. So I've got to pay attention here because when it happens, I will do this. So when we meet at the restaurant, we're going to have a great time. When I see you at 2:00, we're going to have a fabulous lunch together. When I commit to myself, I will finally live my desired life. When I learn how to remove certainty, I will live a life by design. So remove if and replace it with when. If is doubt, when is certainty. Get rid of these doubtful words and put more certainty in your life and you're actually going to get it, make it happen. All right. The other one is but, B-U-T, but, however, except for, you know, all those words. But. I would love to meet you, but I don't know if I can make it. Okay. So what happens here in that sentence, anything before the word but is basically untrue because you're saying that's not true because here's the exception. So what's true is the second half of that sentence. So I would love to meet you, but I don't know if I can make it. Well, you wouldn't love to meet them because you just said you can't make it. So instead of using the word but, let's make the whole sentence truthful. Replace but with the word and. I would love to meet you, and I don't know if I can make it. See, that makes both sentences true. I would love to meet with you, and I don't have time in my schedule at the moment. Let's make it another day. So then you're not creating certainty, right? You're not creating uncertainty. You're creating certainty by making the full sentence true, by replacing it with the word but. Excuse me, by replacing but with the word and. Same thing for however. You know, I would love to make it. However, my schedule's looking kind of full. Okay, so you're not going to make it. No worries. Let's do end. I would love to make it and my schedule is full. So let's do it another time. Perfectly fulfilling. Let's speak truthful. Let's speak our truth. Let's communicate with ourselves in a better way to create certainty in our mind. Because when we're certain about what we're doing and where we're going, that's when we actually get there. That's when we actually start down that path. So let's continue to remove the doubts. Let's be assertive and using assertiveness to speak clearly. When you speak clearly, the person on the other end of the communication knows what you're talking about. You're not putting doubt in their mind when you say, oh, I'll try to make it. Or let's say you're working with someone, let's say you've got your spouse and you're like, you know what, I'm so tired of this and I'm going to start coaching and I want to live the life that I design. I want to be free from shame. I want to live an absolutely fabulous life. I want a thriving income. I no longer want to hold this secret. And I'm going to try it this time. And I'm going to make it different because I'm going to try harder. And if this happens, then our lives will be totally different. But I don't know if it's going to work. Did you hear all the uncertainty and the doubt in that? Oh my gosh. So what if you turn it around and say, you know what? I have some doubts. And this time it's going to be different because this time I'm actually going to do it. This time I will commit. And when I commit, then everything is going to change. When I commit, I will be free from shame. When I commit, I won't feel like I have to carry around this secret anymore. And when I do that, I can start to live life by design instead of by default. Let that sink in. When you commit, you can live life by design instead of by default. So this is Heather Dunlop, and this was day 5 of the Assertiveness training. So if you've got anything in here, if it's resonating with you, if you want to take it to the next level with me, I'd love to hop on a call. I'm going to put a link to my calendar down below. Just book a quick 15-minute call, and we'll talk about this, and we'll take it a level deeper, and we'll start moving you down that path to living your life by design. Always remember, you have strength within you.